Alright guys, welcome to another Destiny 2 New Light or Longtime Returning Player tutorial. This is part of a series of videos I'm doing to just try to walk people through how to make sense of Destiny. It's not the easiest game in the world to just jump into, but if you kind of have an idea of what stuff is and where to go to even know where to look to find it, it will make your life much simpler instead of just wandering aimlessly. So today we are not going to a world again, not a destination. We're still finally trying to wrap our way through the menu system. On the console, on the Xbox, hit the start button. We've already done these 3 tabs to the right. Today, in the same video, we're going to bang out the last 2 on the left. You can toggle through these with the bumpers on the Xbox. So the first one is the Collections tab. I'm going to focus just over here on the right because it's the easiest. Recently discovered. This will constantly change. It's just showing you different items that you have recently acquired throughout your time playing Destiny. Directly below that is badges. Badges are related to completing various challenges, and this is where you can check your progress on them. So if you want the related badge for doing X, Y, and Z, this is where you can hover and see what they are. So Throne World, that's obviously related to Savathun's Throne World. And if I scroll through, I'll see all of the things that I've picked up related to the Throne World, and similar theme, just as all of their menus, there are different ways to scroll through and see the sort. So depending on what it is you want to see, you can toggle through any of those, and it's going to show you your progress for your different player classes. So in the Throne World, for completing the collection, I'm about halfway on my Warlock and a little under halfway on both my Titan and my Hunter. And this exact same setup is all the way down. European Collector, that's related to the destination Europa. Again, you can see all of the stuff that they have that you can possibly collect. And the same rule applies with the little bars underneath and the little arrow toggles out to the side so you can scroll through the different pages. We don't need to drill through all of these, but this is where you can track your progress if you want to complete these badges. You can see I have done 1 so far in this list on the front page. That is Season of Dawn. And again, there are multiple pages of badges as well. Here's other ones that I have completed, and that's where you can track them. Easy enough, straightforward. Now, up here is a section that's very useful, and it gives you a lot of intel. And this is the items. There's a lot of different items in this game. The very top left tab, exotics. This is where you can see all of the exotics for the different weapon types, for the different armor types, and the different ornaments. So it defaults on the weapons and to the kinetic. If it's not grayed out, that means I have acquired the weapon in question. Again, toggle through the pages, and you will notice that there is only 1 exotic kinetic in the game I have yet to pick up, and this is a new one related to a new raid I have yet to play. So I will be grinding through raiding to try to get this scout rifle, which is absolutely disgusting, by the way. This is a Destiny 1 weapon that they brought back, but this is where you can see all of the weapons that you have. It's also worth noting that if you scroll into here, say you don't have enough space in your inventory, in your vault, and you need to make room, and you decide to break down an exotic weapon. Well, not a big deal. You're not going to lose it forever. This is specific to exotics. You're never going to lose them forever because they always drop with the same roll. You can always recraft weapons you've already learned and discovered in the game so long as the roll on the weapon, that means the stats it comes with, and effects on the weapon are not RNG based, and they are not RNG based on exotics. So if you ever need to clear space out of your vault and you have exotics that you're not actively using, I would recommend just breaking those down, because if you want to play with it again, you can come straight into this menu under collections, click on exotic, find the weapon in question, and you'll notice if I hover over it, at the very bottom of that screen that pops up, it says reacquire. If you hold down A, it will recraft that weapon for you. And this is true for any of these that you hover over. And you'll notice it's not that costly to do. 2,500 glimmer, that's basically nothing, and 20 shards, that's basically nothing. And you can recraft any of these that you want to get back in your hand. Same is true all the way down the list. Energy, so I can see everything I've unlocked, everything I'm missing. I have not gotten divinity. That's the tricky one. And there's quite a few on this back page. I have focused on the ones that I wanted to get the most in this game, and you'll kind of see there's some common themes with those that are grayed out. I'm not a big sword or grenade launcher player, so I've mostly skipped those. Same is true over here. Power weapons, exact same thing. If it's grayed out, that means I haven't gotten it yet. So you'll notice if I hover over one that's grayed out, it doesn't give me the reacquire option. That's because I never unlocked it in the first place. And the same exact logic holds true for the armor. I can see all of the pieces I have gotten on my various character classes. It scrolls through everything: helmets, gauntlets, your chest armor, as well as your legs. All the exact same system as the weapons. And you scroll through your different character classes, and that's how you can see what you have and what you don't have. And then the final thing over here is ornaments. These are related to changing the visual customization or look on the exotic weapons, and also on some of the armor, I think. These are not craftable. You can't use your shaders on exotics. You have to have these ornaments. That's the only way to change the look of them. I have bought a few. The vast majority, if not all, I believe, do require the purchase of silver in game. And you can always scroll through the store to see if there's a skin that you really like that you want to put on a weapon, you know, that you use all the time. And you can scroll all the way through and see the full list. It just keeps going down and down and down. So that's the exotic section. The next tab over is weapons. If you see a plus up here, by the way, that means there's new data that is loaded in that you've yet to interact with. It fills up constantly, so I just never clear it out. It's actually kind of annoying because you're always picking up new things as you're playing. But this is where you can see other weapons. Over here, these are all of the legendary weapons, and it follows the same logic. It starts with your kinetics or primaries, all the different weapon subtypes and classes, and it'll go from the top spec purple down to the lowest spec in the game that is related to the weapon in question, and we still have the pages. Now, what I do want to point out is on some of these, say I hover over Drang Baroque, you'll see it says underneath the name of the weapon, cannot reacquire randomized gear. That's what I was talking about, the exotics. They've always got the same stats with few exceptions, so you can always reacquire those, but this one is up to RNG. If the roll on the weapon is RNG based, you cannot just reacquire it. So definitely be careful when you're breaking down your legendaries that you may or may not want to be using at any given time, because the vast majority you will see are red barred. You cannot reacquire. So if you only have one of that gun and you break it down, you've got to grind to get a drop again, because you can't just come back over to this collection, oh, I've had this before, and just reacquire it. It doesn't work that way if it's based on RNG rolls. And this logic is all identical all the way down every subsection. This is your special ammo related weapons, your heavy ammo related weapons, and then the final section over here is other weapon ornaments. These are different from the exotics. You earn these by doing different things in game. So this is where you can find the entire list. No need to go through it. It's a ton of data, but that's what's under the weapons heading. And then the armor is the exact same setup. It will default with this, at least for me, to Warlock. Since I'm playing Warlock, Hunter is in the middle, Titan is to the far left, and it's the exact same sub-menus for each of your character classes that you're playing. It'll show you all the different pieces of armor and the cosmetics on that set that you have acquired. So this is how you can see what you have and have not yet found if you want to complete your collection. We don't need to scroll through all of these, but it shows you, hey, these are things you unlock that are based on competitive. So that's Gambit, Crucible, Crucible, Trials of Osiris. Gambit is its own heading. These are Gambit-specific armors. World, that's going to be related to destinations. Factions, that's going to be related to, say, Vanguard versus Lord Shaxx related items, etc., all the way down. And it's the exact same list for all of the different character types. So this is where you can see what you have gotten and what you haven't gotten. If you don't have it yet, it's grayed out, but they tell you what it is. And if you have gotten, you'll see that it will show up bright on the screen. So that's how you know. Easy enough, and it follows the exact same logic all the way down. Now mods, this is another one that I find equally as important for most people, especially starting out, as the exotic tab. This is one you'll check periodically. So it will show you exactly what all the mods in the game are that you have unlocked. It will be grayed out if you have yet to unlock them, and if you hover over, you can see exactly what the energy cost is for that related mod and exactly what the mod does. And over here, it starts with the armor. So these are all armor specific mods. They can only be slotted into armor pieces. And you'll notice that some of them will show that there is a specific energy type. This is stasis, this is arc, this is solar, and there's a void one. So those are only going to go into energy armor pieces that are of that related subclass type. So you do need to be careful. The white ones you can slot into anything. And it's the full list, the same logic all the way down. And you'll notice that there's a lot of pages of them, so just like always, you can toggle through with the arrows. So if you're looking for specific mods or trying to just see what's out there, this is how you can scroll through, see what you have, see what you're missing, and figure out what it is you want to try to find. The same is true for weapons. This is all of the weapon mods in the game. It'll show you what you have, what you don't have, and then finally equipment. These are the mods for your ghost, which we'll get to into a separate video because it's not going to be a super long walkthrough, but there's a lot of stuff in there that you'll want to know, and I'm going to go more in depth of why you would pick this versus something else. In fact, we will cover mods in multiple different walkthroughs because it's kind of a complicated process, but once you start to learn how the things work together, it'll make a lot more sense and really help you figure out the build that you want to synergize that you're going for. The next section is going to be equipment. This shows all of the possible equipment drops that you could have found from the very beginning of the start of the game, the very first season, Season 1, and you can see everything that you do or don't have unlocked based on the specific equipment type. So it's defaulting showing me all of the ghost shells throughout the seasons. I could scroll all the way to the top of the list to the current season, Season 18. The same is true for all of the ships, and you can just scroll through all of the seasons up and down. The exact same for the sparrows. That's your little vehicle that you can use on world. And then the final column here is seasonal artifacts. This is really just for the sake of being able to see what they were. There's nothing in here of any importance because they disappear and change with every new season that rolls out. So that is what's in the equipment. And then finally, the last section here under the collections is Flair. Flair is going to be these little kind of information cards that you can equip onto your person through the main menu under the character screen, and it's where it shows you different stats that you may want to see. So if I have the Tribute Hall equipped on my person, I could see stats related to seasons and my account. If I scroll further over through some of these other ones, they will eventually, I just got to find one. I don't have them all memorized, but they do show different data depending on which one of these cards you have. And it'll also show you the ones you're missing as well. And they have them related to seasonal, to accounts, general, that's just kind of some generic ones in the game. And you'll see here's a great example. These are all of the different stats that this one tracks. If I were to put it on, not only does it show seasons and account, it also shows me Crucible, Gambit, Strikes, and Destination. So that's the worlds. Competitive, these are going to be specific to Crucible and or Trials of Osiris, and they show different stats. So this is how you can see all of these that you've unlocked and what all data it will show you. Just by hovering over, you can see the data it will show you if you have that perk card equipped. This is going to be all of your shaders. On the next tab over, it says shaders. There are seasonal specific shaders that you can only earn from doing specific things or found throughout specific seasons. There are ones related to activity completion. There are ones related to getting drops from vendors at the tower. And then finally, ones related to being able to pick up just by playing on specific worlds or destinations. The next tab over is your transmat effects. This is when you first load into a new world. Your transmat effect is that little kind of burst that you see as you land and spawn in the world. Easy to miss because most of them are very fast, like half a second if longer, but this is where you can see all of the transmats from the various seasons that you've earned and unlocked. Next one, miscellaneous. These are different cosmetic appearances that you can potentially put on your equipment if you have them unlocked. And collectibles underneath, no data discovered, so I can't even show you anything there, but it's going to be the same thing. Finally, finishers. These are your click in the right stick on the Xbox when people have hit the health threshold that you can one-hit them to finish them. These are where you can see all of the finishers you've unlocked throughout the various seasons. So that is the collections tab in a nutshell. It is effectively exactly what it sounds like. It's everything that you have collected, and if you scroll over into the specific category type, you can scroll through and see a lot of good information to track what you're missing and what you already have. And we're going to hit the final tab in the main menu because this one's pretty quick to go through. If you are a member of a clan, all of your clan data you can see in here. The roster, all the people that are highlighted, this is everybody right now in my clan that's playing, but you can see there's a ton of pages. It's a very big clan. It typically is between 50 and 100 people at any given time. People come and go, but this is where I can see all of my clan members that are actively playing right now. And I can scroll through all the pages and see all of the other clan members that are not currently playing the game. It will show you what the clan level is on the season, what my personal weekly contribution for doing various things in game is towards the clan. And it will also show you the weekly Ingrams the clan has earned. You can see we have not focused Gambit. And then finally over here, related to Nightfalls and Raids. And all of this data, I guess, is kind of sort of useful to know because once these are completed on any week, you know that you're going to be able to turn into Soraya Hawthorne at the tower and go check in to get some free swag from some Ingrams. So guys, that is the collections and the clans tab, and that takes care of all of the menus in the main start button space on the Xbox. I know it's a lot of data, and there's even more drilling into key specifics related to some of this we've already looked at, specifically and especially on the character screen, but now you at least have an idea of what all of this stuff means, where it is, and if you're looking for specific things, where to go to find it. I hope you found this video helpful. We will be drilling into another tutorial next time where we're going to get a little more in depth on the character screen and exactly what all of the information in there means and how to actually use it to start making your character and your build better.